I might pick up from our press club discussion yesterday. You said people like you and me shouldn't have got a $9,000 tax cut. But on the same principle, should we be getting taxpayer-funded free doctor visits? Why should the cook and the waiter at the press club pay for the entire cost of you going to the doctor?
Because the universality of Medicare is such an important principle. And when I announced this election in the Prime Ministerial courtyard, I spoke about the fact that Kerry Packer, as a billionaire, when he had a heart attack, went to Royal Prince Alfred Hospital to get the care that he needed. I ended up there after I had my serious motor vehicle accident in January of 2021. And my mum, an invalid pensioner, got taken there by ambulance from her public housing just down the road in Camperdown. It's important that universal health care and free health care through Medicare be provided, just like every child has access to a public school.
But for a GP though, that's different. I totally agree with you on hospitals, but why for a GP?
Because universality of healthcare provision is part of what Australian values are, that we look after each other, and that's important. The progressivity of the tax system is how you deal with other issues, which is why we changed the legislative tax cuts to make sure that low-income earners didn't miss out. They were going to miss out. And yes, that meant we took some dollars away from people like you and I, got $4,500 less. But it did mean that the people who look after us, the people who at the local GP surgery go and clean the surgery, the people who are on the front desk, the people who keep that business going, got a tax cut as well. And under my government, if we're re-elected, they'll get another tax cut. Importantly, Peter Dutton is saying they will actually legislate for higher income taxes.
All right. I did mention to you at the press club there were things you promised at the last election you didn't deliver on. You changed the tax cuts, you've just mentioned that. Power bill relief, the Uluru Statement in full, cheaper mortgages. Are you saying that you and I, by 2030, are definitely getting free doctors' visits, as is every Australian, pretty much? And how many by 2028, by the time of the next election?
We're saying that 90% by 2030, and we're basing that on the fact that the figure's over 90% for concession card holders, a policy that we implemented in the budget before last when we tripled the bulk billing incentive. So it's not like this is just an academic exercise here or guesswork. We can look at the policy, what is the impact that it has had, and for concession card holders, it's lifted that bulk billing rate to well over 90%.
I want to ask now about your super tax, the tax on unrealised gains. People involved in startups say this will gravely impact on investment. It will lead to people being taxed on money they don't even have. It's not indexed. So you and I have discussed the price of housing before. $3 million in 20 years might be $300,000 now, effectively. Do you accept, as the Parliamentary Budget Office does, that this will raise $4 billion a year within 4 years and $7 billion within 10 years? Why are you seeking to hurt people who have invested with their super?
Let's be very clear here, Andrew. If there are 200 people watching this program, or for every 200, if it's an average across the Australian population, then one of those 200 will be impacted. Just 0.5% of people. This is a modest change in which people... It is a modest change in which people who are already getting a considerable benefit, a concession if you like, will still get a concession. It will just be less than they're getting at the moment.